Hey guys, my name is John Morgan. I am a freshman at Texas Tech University. I have been involved in tech for the last 3 to 4 years, and today I'm going to be teaching y'all about Git Bash. Now, let's get right into it. This is my first video, and I will be making more. So for this video, I decided to go further into what I learned first when I first got into this entire realm of things. So this is Notion. It is a note-taking app. So first and foremost, shout out Notion, I suppose, because I am going to be using this in exchange of PowerPoints, although you might see PowerPoints later on, I'm not sure. So what is Bash? Git Bash is an application for Microsoft Windows environments which provides an emulation layer for a Git command line experience. Now, that might not mean much to you, so why don't I just go ahead and show it to you. I will be giving you this note, by the way. It will be in the description, and all who are viewing may have it. So this is Git Bash, and it operates as like a medium as to how I talk to my computer and how I tell it what to do. And interesting enough, when you open this in front of somebody who's not involved in tech, they think you are hacking the Pentagon, which is, sort of funny. If this is the only thing that you do learn from tech, you can amaze people. So interestingly enough, when you open this in front of somebody who has no idea what it is, they will assume that you are very fluid in technology, which it's very important. It's for version control. In 2021, any company that uses version control will want you to know Git. So what is Git? Git is a free and open source distributed version control system designed to handle everything from small to very large projects with speed and efficiency. So this is the installation for it right here. I'm actually just going to click on this so that you can see. I already have it downloaded, so I'm not going to be downloading it. Now, this is for Windows, okay? There's a different process when you're on Mac. So if you're on Windows, go ahead and click this button right here, run through the installation, and meet me back at this point in the video, I suppose. Now Mac, there's a few more steps to go through, but it works the same way. You will want to install Homebrew, and then after you install Homebrew, you are going to install Git. So, and I'm not on a Mac, so that's kind of a roadblock that I'm facing while making content. I want to appeal to both those. So in Mac, the equivalent of this search bar right here is your Finder. You're actually going to type in the words terminal, and then from the terminal, you will install Homebrew. So you will actually grab this piece of code right here. You will open up your terminal in Mac. It might look something like this, and you will paste it just like that. Okay, just Control C, Control V on Windows, Command C, Command V on Mac to paste that line of code. Now, don't worry about what any of this means for right now. Like I said, this is just a way that we can talk to our computer for the time being. That's all you need to know. So you can click right here what Homebrew is. As I mentioned, it just allows us to install things on Apple products, whereas there's somewhat of a roadblock as opposed to Linux and Windows. So you're going to need Homebrew. It's recommended to install Git through Homebrew. So after you install Homebrew, you are going to install Git. Now, Git is this version control we're going to be working with. All we're going to be doing today is navigating through file systems, creating folders, creating files without having to touch our mouse. So that is what we are going to be doing. Nothing, too complex. I just wanted to get that point across. So, here's Git's main page. It will give you the basic rundown of what it is, but it's better just to see it in action, in my experience. So while we're installing things, you will need a text editor for my curriculum. If you are going to allow me to teach you how to program, teach you markup, and teach you cascading style sheets, and I will be going further into full stack web development, full stack engineering, what have you, whatever you like to call it. We're going to be doing all sorts of stuff. Right now, I'm trying to get into the engineering school at Texas Tech University. It's a little harder than I thought, but once I am in the engineering school, I'm going to try to simplify computer science and try to teach that as well. Computer science concepts, and I'll try to relate it to real world things and just really describe the beauty of it so that those who are coding can also receive a computer science background. Now, while you are coding, you don't necessarily need to know this, but it's good to know. And as I go further into mathematics, it has helped me be a better programmer. But all of this is subjective. If you can do whatever you'd like, basically. You can do anything you feel comfortable with. So the text editor I use is Visual Studio Code. I'll go ahead and click on that link. Once again, you will have this in the description if you want to follow along. Now, this is the text editor we're going to be using. I'm not going to get too into this either. I just want you to have this for the next video. So go ahead and install this for whatever machine you are on. If you're on a Mac, click this button. If you're on Windows, click this button and then meet me back at the Notion. All right, so we're going to begin. You also have this note that I've compiled, and what it is I've just kind of compiled some syntax for everyone so that you can just have this and you don't have to read through the documentation, although reading through the documentation is the best to learn, and everything that Git is capable of is most definitely not here, okay? I'm just trying to get everyone familiar with this because we will be using Git Bash throughout the course. So why don't we get right into it? Now, if you're on Windows, you should have this installed appropriately. If you're on Mac as well, you should be able to type in Git Bash into either the Finder or the search bar down here, and it will open it. Now, this is actually pretty dark. Should I change the color? No, I think we will leave it for the time being, actually. So a visual representation of what this can do. Now, actually, it is against my... Okay, give me one moment. I am actually going to search and then change text like perhaps. Okay, let's do perhaps, maybe. Good. Okay, we will do this, sure. Now, let's see. Now, it's a visual representation of what exactly we're doing, because at this point, if you don't have a background in tech, you might be like, what is this? What are we doing? And that's perfectly understandable. So I'm going to be navigating through my file systems. Right now, I'm at the root directory. This little squiggly line tells me that I'm at the root directory. When I press LS, okay, and then enter, it's actually going to show me everything that is in this directory. And so I want y'all to get familiar with this, kind of move, press LS and just look around, and you'll be able to see things. There's Git right there. That's what you just installed. And you will be able to see things. that you may have never seen before, or if you're not really familiar with your computer, you are able to get more familiar with it. Okay, so next thing I'm going to be pressing Control L, which is Command L on Mac, I believe, and I am going to make a file. Okay, I'm going to make a folder, and then I'm going to put a file inside of the folder. But before that, let's get familiar with some of the syntax. So cd change directory. I am going to go to the desktop, and the reason why I'm going to go to the desktop is so that you can see what this is doing, because it might be kind of vague if you don't really understand what we're doing right now. Basically, it's the same thing as if I were to click on it with my mouse, but I'm not using my mouse. Like, you could do all this with your mouse so far, everything that we've done, but it's important to know how to do this for when you start pushing to Git. You don't have to know what that is for the time being. Anyways, so when I press mkdir, I am going to make a folder. I'm going to make a folder on my desktop, and I am going to call it that folder. Okay, so when I do that, you might have seen that this folder appears. So I did all that through this terminal. Now, just because I made that folder does not mean I'm inside it. If you notice, it says desktop right here. I am not inside of this. I'm not inside of this folder yet. So once again, Control L, Command L on Mac to clear and give yourself a fresh slate. And now I'm going to change directories inside of that folder. Okay, now I'm inside of that folder. LS to tell me what's inside of it, absolutely nothing. Okay, so let's change that. When I put touch index.html, I'm going to be creating an HTML file. I know that we haven't gone over exactly what HTML is yet, but that's not important. Just go ahead and follow along with me, and we will get into all of that later. So touch index.html, and now let's try ls again. And then there's our index.html file. You might have also noticed that something appeared in that folder over here that we created through our terminal using command line syntax. So there's our index.html. Now, I'm just going to minimize that for the time being while I make two other files. So touch, and this will be like kind of your initial workflow while working with me, at least. Like, this is what I do when I have a good idea or I want to start a project. This is how I begin. So I just created a cascading style sheet, which is what makes a web page look the way that it looks. And then I also created a JavaScript file, which will give us programming logic and make things move around on the web page if we want them to, along with so much more. I won't even be able to scrape the surface as to what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are able to do in this video. Now, Explorer dot. Now on Windows, it's going to be different. It's going to be open dot. On Mac. On Mac, it's going to be different. It's going to be open dot, not Explorer dot. So when I do that, it opens this folder. Now, do you remember when I double clicked on it? Pretty interesting that we were able to do that without having to double click on it. Now, also, I'm going to, actually, let's see. I'm going to right click on this, open with code. Okay. And this might be the first time anyone has seen this text editor. Once again, don't worry about that. We'll get into what all of this is later on. We are learning Git right now, not HTML, JavaScript, or CSS. So here we are. Now you can do the same thing in the terminal, just as we have done with a right click and an open with code. We can actually use this command to open that folder in code. And this is just going to be our, our initial workflow. Once again, we're just getting familiar with navigating through the file systems, creating a file, removing a file. Okay, wonderful. Now, so we've done this, right? Now I also have this folder on my desktop that says new folder. So I'm actually going to go back twice. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me how I could have done that without changing directories, going ... which moves us back a directory twice? We could have done something like this. So I'm actually going to, into desktop, I'm going to go into that folder, right? And then I'm going to go cd. Now, notice when I put this change directory squiggly line, it actually took me to the root directory. And I did the same thing that I did within these two Git Bash commands in 3 characters, which I actually need to get better about doing that more. I often just cd ... wherever I need to go. So yeah, that's a cool one. Now, so we're at the root, right? Once again, you can see everything that you might not have known was there. Control L, Command L on Mac to give yourself that clean slate. And then, all right, here's another one, pwd, and that will show us where we are. So here's C, here's users, here's here's the person who sold me this computer. Actually named it that, which is kind of funny. So pwd shows us where we are. If I were to go into desktop and then use pwd, we're in desktop. All right, wonderful. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to remove this new folder, perhaps. Maybe we should, or let's create a new one, actually. Let's do that. Okay, self-destructing folder. Okay, so self-destructing folder. I just made a new one. You will see it appear right over here. It has just appeared. Now, I am going to destroy this self-destructing folder. Right? Now, how do I do that? So I believe that is how. Oh yeah, and also guys, so when I'm typing, you may have noticed that some of this is auto-completing. I'm pressing tab. So like I'm spelling some of the word and then I'm pressing tab, and that's how it's auto-completing. So I go back, tab, back, tab. Okay, wonderful. Oh, and this actually goes on the other side. Okay, so let me now, do you see how it disappeared? It deleted. And we use this rm-r to delete this self-destructing folder. All right. Now, let me refer to the Notion for one moment. Let me just make sure that I'm covering all these topics. Once again, please be patient with me. This is my first video. I want to teach everyone a bunch of cool stuff, but I also need to get used to doing all of this. I've taught children about technology before, but I am still getting used to making videos, I suppose. So we've been through pwd, that shows the current directory. We're able to view the folders and files in the directory with ls. We use cd ... to move back, right? We use this cd squiggly line to bring us to the root. And then we've used this cd. Every time I've done cd desktop, I've changed the directory. Now we've done some file manipulation. I'm actually going to leave some of this up to y'all, this copy and this move rename. This is, file manipulation. We've done, we've deleted a folder. If you wanted to delete a file, you could. And the reason why I'm not going to go through everything is because self-study and self-investigation is the best way to learn, in my opinion. And I want everyone to be able to go off on their own path and not just do everything that I do. So even early on, as you work with me, I will push you to be um, a better student or what have you, or person that is coding along with me. I want you to be able to go off and do these sort of things on your own. Now, I think that we have really just gone through the basics of Git, correct? You've seen what it can do as far as navigating and file manipulation, and I don't want my videos to be too long, so I'm going to cut it short right here, just until I can get everyone on the same page. I'm going to make an installation video where we actually get our machines development or engineer ready so that we're able to create things and make the best out of the time that we spend together. All right. So this will be in the description, this notion that I've left right here, where you should be able to get up to speed with me for the time being. And then I'm also going to make another video where we download Visual Studio Code extensions that will help us. And then I believe I'm going to take it real slow because I don't know if the people that are going to be watching will have ever done HTML or CSS. And so it might be real slow. Those of you that do have a background in tech, feel free to uh, uh, skip ahead if you know this stuff, or wait for more things that are more acquainted towards your liking for the time being. But today, that's all I have for you. And I am looking forward to spending my time and working with all of you. Okay, that's all for now. Bye.